Crazy Chef, big vibe. I know you won't like this video, so I'll say it anyway. Like, share, subscribe, be a part of the vibe. You know the deal. Today we're making sourdough bread, and I'm gonna try to make it Jamaican style, right? So today we're making sourdough bread. I'm making it Jamaican style. Uh, if you've never made sourdough bread, right? So to make sourdough bread, you need a sourdough starter. To make a sourdough starter, you need 50 gram of all-purpose flour, 50 gram of room temperature water. You mix that together and you let it sit on your counter for like 2 weeks. You gotta feed it like a pet, and you get the bubbles. You take half of it out and you put more flour in. You feed it on a regular. You put more water in. If you want to know how to make a sourdough starter, there's none on my channel, so you gotta YouTube it. There's plenty of videos. That's how I learned to make my sourdough starter. I googled it. So first you gotta make your sourdough starter. Once you have acquired a sourdough starter, now it's time to make sourdough bread. And sourdough bread, you can do a lot with it. All a sourdough bread is, right? It's unleavened bread from Jesus' time, from Palestine, from Israel. It's the same bread they give you at communion, I think. So that's all it is unleavened bread. There's no yeast involved. You're pretty much activating the yeast from the flour and the water, and all that time you're feeding it and it grows, it becomes bubbles, blah blah blah, right? So let's get into the recipe. To make this bread, you need 500 gram of bread flour, right? 500 gram of bread flour. You need 350 gram of room temperature water. You need 100 gram of active sourdough starter. So you have to be able to see the bubbles. So your sourdough starter, you gotta feed it like a couple days before. You gotta be able to see the bubbles, right? So 100 gram of sourdough starter. You need 10 gram of salt, right? You're gonna prepare the starter. So you already had your starter, blah blah blah, and then you gotta put all this. First thing what I always do is I want to make sure I put my water, then I put my starter. If your starter doesn't float on top, there's a problem. So that's how you know if you have a active sourdough starter, because your starter supposed to float to the top of your water, and that's how you know you have a active sourdough starter, right? So now we're in bread process. So we're gonna add all our ingredients, our flour, our salt, water, sourdough starter, and you're gonna mix that. You're gonna knead it, and what should happen is it starts out pretty soft, it gets sticky on your fingers, and then it starts to come together. How you know you have a good dough is it starts to clean the sides of your bowl, and that's how you know you're getting there, right? Starts to clean the side of the bowl, you know you're getting there. Voila. Then you're gonna take it out and you're gonna knead it for like, usually I give it a 10-15 knead, right? You could do it in a mixer, but most people make sourdough, they do it with the arm because it's the way you knead it. You want to fold air in the dough, so it's the way you knead it. And then you want that to sit, right? Room temp. Yes, so you want to let it sit, you want to let it proof, and then you're gonna knead it again. Yeah, so there's a lot of kneading involved, right? So then you want to knead it again, right? Depending on your oven, every oven is different. A big thing when you bake bread is the oven, right? See, I always bake my sourdough in a Dutch oven, right? So, you get crispy all around and it's covered and the steam goes in. It's just a vibe, right? And the thing with sourdough, it gives you that nice crispy brown look. It's, I don't know, it's something else. But it depends on your oven. Before I had a gas oven, and I used to go 425 for like 10-15 minutes. I'd always check it. You can use a meat thermometer. You can use a meat thermometer, right? But this oven I have now is electric, so I go 375 for 25, so it's a longer time, right? So it's a different process with the oven, blah blah blah. But the best thing is to check it with a meat thermometer. You get that 160, you're good, right? 160, boom, ready, right? If you haven't liked this video yet, please could you like the video? Brother is trying. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the vibe, right? So you want to put it in your Dutch oven, cover it, put it in your oven, right? So Dutch oven, cover it, put it in, and by say 10 to 15 or 15 to 25, you should have a beautiful dough like this. Crazy Chef, big vibe. Like, share, and if you're generous, just subscribe to the vibe.